Practice.
And I think
we're
we started.
live.
We are
Oh my
live.
gosh. Woo! We're back. Oh man, it feels
Hi.
good.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to the
Hello.
Zócalo, everybody. This is your one-stop shop for all things Babylon 5. We are back after a brief absence, and oh man, Norm, I have missed you, man. You've been busy, and we're gonna catch up on all the things that you have been doing as of late. I cannot wait to hear all about them. And this is going to be a very informal show. This does not have any set topic necessarily. This is just kind of us taking a breath, taking some time away from the show that's outside, because wow, is it crazy? It is a carnival ride off the rails. And so we're going to pull up a drink, as we do, pull up a chair because it's happy hour at EARHART'S, and we're just going to have ourselves a good time.
By the way, so we have to set the ground rules because we are in EARHART'S. So anyone that says or starts off the conversation with official business has to buy everybody around.
That's right. And you know what will happen is we'll ring that bell and you're picking up the tab, baby.
Yep. And also, I'd like to dedicate this first drink to one of the fallen from EARHART'S, and that would be Lieutenant Warren Keffer. Thank you for bringing us the very first picture of the shadows so that Mr. Ndawe can say dream really strangely when he says a dream, a dream. I'm like, sorry, I digress. Anyway.
We thank you for your service, Mr. Keffer. Foul two.
Foul two. We got BC and Super Dave on board.
Hello. Mountains of Elysium checked into, may or may not be here at this very moment, but if you are here, hello. Thank you for saying hi. If nothing else, we appreciate you doing that. We know it's late where you are. And Earl's here. Hello.
Earl. Am I tan? I don't look tan. Must be my camera.
You look the same to me. Maybe it's the lighting, but then, you know, you were in Florida, the Sunshine State.
Maybe I'm just a shade soberer. So.
You're sober?
I won't.
Oh, well, we better fix that.
I want to, confirm or deny that allegation.
So. Okay. Well.
Okay. So just to get it out of the way, so this thing is staring at me. This wound is staring at me like the proverbial giant forehead or nose zit that we get right before we go out to like
oh my gosh! Dinner. I've got the remnant of a zit right here. Oh my god!
This scar, if you can see this is our Jaws segment for the show. This scar here, this is my shoulder surgery scar. This soon-to-be scar here was because I'm really careful when it comes to like my rabbits and my rabbit cages, which you can see like right over here.
Yes.
But I was telling Char this offline. Those zip ties that you use, those plastic zip ties that you use to like tie bundles of things together. I usually tie the rabbit cages together, and I snip off the ends, but they leave a little bit of like a razor sharp plastic dongle, where the fastener is. And I went to go reach for something or pet or like lean over the cage to pet one of the rabbits or drop something in their cage. And I just raked my shoulder across that. And that thing was like a freaking knife.
Ow.
Like that kind of sharp, right?
Oh, it is though. If you've ever been around these things, man, you don't need a knife. You've got one. That thing
opened up like a Chinese eyeball. It's just like,
And just spurting blood everywhere.
Yeah. So that's why I'm wearing my whole Big Trouble in Little China accoutrement.
Nice.
My Jack Burton hat on. Got my Jack Burton tank top on.
Yeah, good theme. Very cool. Yeah. I want to say hi to Terry Lynn. Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Can you hear the cars? I have to keep my windows open today, folks, because it's freaking ridiculous here.
Everybody else is entering into fall. Meanwhile, in SoCal, summertime. Still in the 90s.
What?
It is supposed to cool down as the week goes by, though. We're going to hit the mid 80s, which is kind of my happy place where that just feels perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's my Goldilocks zone.
Or mid 70s?
Mid 80s. Because I do like a little bit of heat. I'm cold-blooded. I'm a lizard by nature.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm like a microwave, or I'm not a microwave, an oven where when I'm hot, then I'm really like flashpoint boiling hot, but it takes a lot to get me there.
I like my San Diego 70 to 72. I like that. That's like perfect because it's cool enough to wear something long sleeved, but you won't crack a sweat.
Well, yeah, I guess that's nice when you're kind of moving around, saying going for a brisk walk outside.
Yeah.
Which right now, no, not doing it.
No.
I don't like to sweat that much.
I tell you what, though, when I was in Florida, it was humid AF.
I believe it. Now, after you've experienced that for a week, how do you think you're going to do with that?
Oh, I got great air conditioning in the new room.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You need it. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm no stranger to like East Coast heat. You know, I lived in New Jersey for about 5 years, and those are the kind of summers, springs and summers to late autumn, where you just, man, you walk outside and you just start perspiring. You don't look like sweating. It's just you just turn moist.
Yeah.
You know, like
that word, moist.
Moist, like a moist vessel, right? You're a moist vessel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's true though. I know that feeling. Just the moment you step outside, you feel like you need to take a shower.
Exactly. And here's the way I don't care about what's happening to me personally or my clothes or like my being. That the kind of humidity that I worry about is like I worry about my gear, my equipment, you know, because I just don't want like condensation to start forming. You know, when things get hot and cold in an air conditioned room, because that could happen. So I got to probably get a dehumidifier. Have you seen those dehumidifiers that actually create drinkable water?
No, that's a thing.
Yeah, there was this. So I was at this Xerox, basically a printer demonstration, and I asked for a glass of water, and they said, "Hey, you know, take a look at this." And it was basically a giant, like a tall steel canister, right?
Okay.
Very nonchalant looking, and it just had the two spigots that had hot and cold. So, you know, a guy poured me one of those paper cups of water, and I drank it. It's like, wow, that's really crisp. He goes, "Can you believe it that that was pulled from the air?" I go, "From the air?" You know? And they're like, "Yeah."
Wow.
But this is where like the super geek in me said, so I'm like, so it's kind of like a moisture evaporator. And then one guy says to me, like on Tatooine, like from across the room. I go, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That is super cool. I didn't realize that was an actual technology in our here and now.
Yeah, it was like reverse osmosis, like something or other.
Wow. Well, isn't that cool? I love it. Sean
says,
Dempsey is here. Hello.
Hey,
Long
Sean.
time no see.
So can you see this? I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to take my headset off, but I know Sean. I'm racing to catch up with Sean's hair. Hold on a second.
Oh. Look at that. Oh, look at that ponytail. It's getting bigger. I saw it in its infancy when you could just barely get it in that hair tie.
It's so lame.
It's getting out of the awkward stage. I mean, it's looking like a legit ponytail though. Keep going.
I think by December it will be kind of like a big boy. Like it'll go from the stinger that I had, which looked like a little mosquito stinger, to like a full grown like pugtail. Like
a pugtail. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's hit some of these.
We got some comments.
So Sean says, need to get your Highlander hair. Sean, I don't know what happened to mine. The only one that I want, or the only one that I really need, and this is code for like Highlander fans, I just need the double dragon hair tie to match my belt buckle. That's all I want. That's all I want. So Sean knows what I'm talking about because he has the belt buckle and hair tie. Mold me one, dude. Send one to Texas. Texas forged. That guy. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember his name.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know this word. I shouldn't be talking in code.
Welcome to the Secret Service, everybody.
I know. Let's see. We gotta scroll back to some of these comments. So
all right.
Let's go back to Super Dave's. Gives us Valtu.
Hey, Valtu, Super Dave. Yeah, it's getting colder where other people are, just not here. Because we're in SoCal where the weather just sort of does what it wants. I mean, it'll get 80 something in February if it feels like it.
Yeah, like the Indian summer, which I'm not a fan of.
Or it'll rain for the entirety of the month of March, which it practically did this year, which I really enjoyed. You know what? The air smelled so freaking clean and fresh. It was practically like being in a forest in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And now?
And now, oh God.
And now it's a forest fire.
City. It's awful, and all the smoke. Oh my gosh. And I know we've got folks who are not in the line of the fires, but are being exposed to a lot of smoke. Gosh, I hope you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Take it easy on yourself. That's a lot of work your body is doing, filtering all of that out.
So what did I miss, Char? I mean, like I give you props because everyone give props to Char and our special guest star a couple weeks ago, Philip Gilfus.
Philip, let's give props to him. Val
Yeah.
too. He jumped in with I think maybe a day's notice, and that we came up with our topic going over Crusade, and he just he was a real trooper and showed up, and we had a very good discussion. We had a lot of great comments from you all. That was so much fun. Thanks for joining us for that show if you really did. And just, oh man, that feels like forever ago now. That feels just months ago, distant memory.
I loved being a fan. I was listening to the both of you. I was listening to both of you like a fan. And I actually did say, I had some like, what are they talking about moments?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did we go off the rails, or was it just like...
It's just stuff that I disagreed with personally.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We put some opinions out there, and you have all right to disagree.
Yeah, but there were a couple of times like, oh, guys, you're being a little harsh on, on Gary Cole here. Just a little, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, we were, and Philip and I do have our criticisms of Crusade. Meanwhile, I know that you love Crusade, and I know that we have fans who love Crusade, and so we're not telling you you're wrong. We're just the ones that are on camera spouting our crappy opinions. So take that for what it is, guys.
But I do agree that it was a weird kind of like after A Call to Arms, right?
Yes.
When they launched the next episode, the pilot episode, right?
The so-called pilot, yeah.
Yeah, that was War. No, was it? Oh, I can't remember the name of the episode now.
Oh, you're thinking of War. Oh shoot, where's my notes on that episode now?
Anyway, so what I'm saying is that that episode was kind of like, why bother with that episode? Because it was basically a call to arms without Sheridan.
Oh, yeah, more or less. Warzone, that's what it was called.
Warzone, right? Because it made, I was watching this like, why are you telling this again? Right? We already like established everything that you needed to establish, with the exception of like, what's his name, like coming in for like, the big punch, which was kind of cool. It's like, I'm the captain. Poof.
Right. Yeah, I suppose if you hadn't seen A Call to Arms, you needed something to establish the big arc of the show and what have you.
Right.
So, okay, fine.
It's weird though.
I don't have a big grievance with that. It's redundant for those of us who did tune in, though.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. It's like for the audience, and maybe this makes only sense to me, but for the audience that is coming in, that's supporting the show, it's the Babylon 5 fan audience. It's not like you're going to start a whole new fandom with Crusade. So you're starting, you have Call to Arms, which is on TNT, and TNT wants to grow that fandom, but you have the anchor-based fandom that will go from A Call to Arms into the next episode. So why even go and start with that at the pilot, right? When there's a legitimately good pilot episode, the other episode that you were talking about, in order, because that introduces Max, right? More Max, more like logical Max.
A lot more Max. Yeah, you're talking about Racing the Night, right?
Yeah. Is that the one where what's his name's on the motorcycle?
Yeah, that's the one where Gary Cole's on the hover scooter, and it just looks not quite right for him.
It was a weird thing.
In our opinion.
Yeah, it was. Well, the close-ups were okay, but the far shots were like, come on.
It just no.
It's like, come on, guys. You're not
here. I'm sorry, that has not aged well. It might have looked fine in its day.
Right. I remember that was a sticking point. So I was like, yeah, but the Apocalypse box is awesome.
It is, man, we didn't get enough knowledge on that whole thing. Like, we never got a chance to figure that one out, and I really wanted that to be kind of like a sore spot for Galen. It's like, you have sources? You don't need me? You don't need me? Yeah. In his overly flamboyant way. Yeah, we don't. Get out of here, bitch.
I understand that you have an Apocalypse box.
Yes. Terry Lynn, I am sorry that the cats have not shown up. I'm in a different room. I might have explained this before. I do have a chair right next to me in hopes that the cats will jump up here and there. It's not the same. And you know what? I keep saying this. I need to put a green screen behind me. I, in fact, have a green screen, but The reason why I haven't is because of this board back here. I write all over this with various notes on maybe things I've got to take care of for the week or storyboarding, what have you. And so I just haven't found a convenient way to roll in the green screen, disassemble it, and then put it away until I need it the next time. Is it a
telescoping, like, one of those old movie theater type?
No. I wish I had one of those, because then I could just put the green screen above the board and pull it down when I needed it.
Yeah.
I know. That would make too much sense. I got the wrong green screen, man.
Redo the room. Right?
Yeah, so then I could do, like, how a lot of people have the really complex backgrounds that look super sweet. I could do the Voyager Bridge or the Cerritos or what have you, or Babylon 5 to be CNC.
Right.
But if I were to do it without the green screen, it cuts off parts of my face and my head and my shoulders, and it doesn't know what to do with that. So I don't do it. I'm sorry.
Technically, you also have to green screen your chair, because that's the big problematic thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's always kind of like the chair shape, right?
Yeah, and this has a very distinctive shape. It's a gamer chair. It has its pompous look to it, I guess.
It's got
the thing
wings.
is it's really comfortable. I really like it.
Well, that's the most important thing. Right?
Yeah,
we spend most of our time like in the chairs now, right? And
I'm basically doing all of my classes over Zoom. So I'm sitting for hours at a time. When I'm coding, I need to be locked in. I can't be worried about my rear end, my tailbone hurting because I don't have a comfy chair. No, I need to just keep going while I'm in the zone.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the Cerritos, because that triggered me to talk about. I finally caught up with Lower Decks.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, let's talk about this for a little bit, just because this is kind of an anything goes thing, guys. So if you want us to talk about something, put it in the comments. In the meantime, we're running the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've held off like on a lot of this stuff, because I usually am like fast and furious with, with texting Charles, like, oh my God. But this weekend, this whole week, I got back home from Florida last Saturday night. That Sunday, today, around this time, actually probably about an hour ago, last week, is when I picked up the bunnies. And I was telling Char this. The bunnies were at basically kind of like a workshop where they were going to be bonded. Bonded bunnies are like bonded for life. They're besties for life. They share the same pen. They share their food. They share their litter boxes. They're basically inseparable. And that's what you want for rabbits, right? You don't want them to be, solitary. But unfortunately, that their bonding didn't take hold. So I've been trying to work with them, and for whatever reason, when they left the facility, when we picked them up and we brought them back home, something happened. Like, bunny psychology is very, what's the word? Fragile. It's very tenuous, right? So
it sounds like it. Yeah.
It's very unpredictable. And what happened at the facility to when we brought them home, something happened, and they just didn't stay bonded. Like their molecular cohesion did not
broke down.
The tachyon flow was reversed. The polarities were reversed.
The polarity, it's a very fickle thing, sounds like.
So they're when I brought them home, I reversed their polarities, and it's not like they're not getting along with each other, because they don't like attack each other through the cages. As a matter of fact, they're both flopped upside down right now if I'm looking at them here. But it's too bad too, because then, like, Carol and I wanted to have them bonded so that when we move to Florida, they'll share the same cage. So we're going to try and get them bonded again. Here are the two options that we have.
What have you got?
So I talked to Caroline, who is our bunny whisperer, and she said that, are you comfortable with adding a third bunny?
Oh, this sounds like a party.
Yeah. So what happens is that, see, the difficulty is with my two buns, and I really wish I did a little bit more research. Not that I don't love Buffy and Pippin. Pippin's my baby, and Buffy's, I love Buffy too. But they're both girls. Mm-hmm. And same-sex rabbits are really hard to bond.
Oh, okay. Is there a particular reason?
Usually it's hormonal, but you have them spayed or neutered before you start the bonding process. But it's just in their code, right? So if you have like a male and female pairing, that's perfect. They almost bond instantly, and they never break. But when you have same-sex pairings, they can get bonded. It just takes longer, and then there's like just a higher percentage of that bond breaking.
I see. Okay.
The usually the solution to this, the workaround, is to add a male bunny to bond the two females together through it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the most interesting three-way I've ever heard of.
Like rabbits. Like rabbits, right?
Yeah.
Like rabbits. So the two solutions are, we either try and bond them again, which may or may not work. But Caroline is so sweet, and she wants to see, this is when you know that you're dealing with the right person in the right facility, because she says that if in the first couple of days that they're not working the way that they were working before, then I'd like to have your permission to add in a male and see what happens. If that all takes shape, then once we feel that they can go home with you, then you evaluate their behavior at home and see if the bond still holds. And if it does, only then is when she's going to charge me for the adoption fee.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a quality guarantee.
Right. And if she said that if it doesn't work, then unfortunately, you'll just have to bring the male bunny back, and then your two other rabbits are just going to have to live separately because they can't bond.
Interesting.
I know,
now,
right?
Does this work in reverse, where if you have two male rabbits and you have to bring in a female to bond them, is it the same thing?
That's a great question. That's something I didn't ask her because it's not relevant to my thought
right.
process.
It's not
right
your
now,
situation.
But
I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It's there's something just about, it's kind of like what do they call them? Covalent bonds. So I could be completely talking out of my butt, but or it's more like, say, like hydrophobic and hydrophilic bonds, right? Hydrophobic bonds are phobic, they repel each other. Hydrophilic bonds, attract each other. So like in a water molecule, you have two H2O, right? So you have two hydrogen molecules, one oxygen molecule. The hydrogen molecules are just kind of like, ooh, they're just kind of like floating around because they won't attract each other. But the oxygen molecule is the one that holds them together.
That's the bonder.
Right, and that's the bonder. So I got basically
that would be the male in this situation.
I got two hydrogen molecules like hanging out right here. I need an oxygen molecule, right?
That's a really good analogy. Yeah, makes sense. Well, you'll have to keep us posted on how the buns are doing as this journey continues. So you're going to try with the male bunny?
Oh, yeah. I'll have a menage a Troy with them.
Hey.
Full Star Trek reference.
Threesome jokes. They're fun.
So I was going to I'd say to Carol, like, well, if we get a bunny that works, maybe we'll just rename them to Jack, Janet, and Chrissy. You
suppose that might be the real clincher, is the name change to give them that thematic cohesiveness?
Jack, Janet, and Chrissy. So Chrissy,
wow.
so we have a blonde, that would be Chrissy. Then we have a brunette, which would be Janet. And then we have our Jack the rabbit.
My God. Jack the rabbit.
Yeah. But the whole thing was that I had to clear this whole thing with Carol. I was like, are you okay with that? And she's like, at first, so this whole thing started off like little over a year ago when we adopted Pippin for the first time. And Pippin wasn't supposed to be us. Funny thing that BC says that, because Mr. Roper, his real name, his real name, BC, right? Norman Fell.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
The
great Norman Fell, Mr. Roper. But it was just supposed to be this gift for, Carol's coworker, Laura, who lost her two bunnies, Radagast and Scruffy. But she didn't want it, so I fell in love with Pippin when, I bonded with her. And here's a weird thing. I even had to ask Caroline, is like, is it possible that the bunnies, like one of the bunnies is jealous of me interacting, with them? And she's like, no, they don't really respond that way. And it's like, I'm just trying to like throw all the spaghetti at the wall to see if it works.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I am with the bunnies. But now we get to the good stuff, because after I've cleared off my work schedule, I was able to get back into doing some mission log. By the way, Earl, I do hope that you like the clean version of the synopsis, because I could not read my synopsis if my life depended on it last Wednesday night.
What episode is this?
So we were doing what is that? It's a big episode. Earl, what episode did I do?
Okay, so anyway, you have some strong words.
In Purgatory Shadow.
Oh, okay. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. Okay, well, I can't wait to hear that one then. Wow. Some thoughts, huh? Some feelings?
What? I just didn't know how. I mean, I guess it was rusty. And truth be told, I keep these damn things, near me because I have basically kind of like a gray zone from where I sit comfortably to where my reading up distance reading vision is affecting my the way I read my monitor.
And you're allergic to Retina X5.
I am allergic to Retina X5. So anyway, so I have to put on these things, and I was just like, the whole time.
Oh no.
also I felt like a little rusty, so I kind of, I don't know. I was out of the pocket. But when I shut off like all my mission log recording stuff and I recorded my own, my own synopsis on my own time without feeling like the pressure of putting on a show, then it was fine.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's performance anxiety when you're doing a live show, especially for our Patreon viewers.
Oh, well, sure. Right? Other people are going to be listening to that. Yes.
Yeah. So knowing that, I should have known not to suck as much, right?
But that's where the performance anxiety comes in, right? Is knowing in that key moment
that I was
the
sucking.
Pressure's on. That's when you're gonna suck.
Yep. And that's the rust.
Yeah.
When you're off a little bit, you lose your ability to kind of recalibrate really quickly.
Yes, it's hard. It is, because you're kind of like, once you have that first stumble, it's really easy to stumble again and again rather than trying to pick up your composure. That's the art of that whole thing. And it only comes with practice. Right.
So does lying, apparently, according to Elam Garrick. Just saying. Just saying.
He would know.
My favorite character in Deep Space Nine. Easily one of my favorite characters in Star Trek ever. Ever.
Yeah, he's great.
And it's not just because I think he's he's incredibly well written, but Andrew Robinson is 90% of that equation. Right.
100%. Could you imagine anybody else in that role doing half that job? Sorry, it would not have turned out the same. I mean, everybody talks about, lightning strikes with Star Trek cast, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely true.
He's perfect.
100%. I especially love in the whole DS9 documentary that came out last year, What We Left Behind. One of the very first scenes in that whole documentary is Andrew Robinson saying, "Oh yeah, Garrick was totally gay for Bashir," and that's exactly how I played it. Trying to dispel any kind of what if. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I definitely did that. That happened."
Well, the interesting thing is using that kind of a label to describe a character in the 24th century. It's like, why does why does that word matter anymore? I mean, I'm not saying that it's like I'm disparaging.
Well, and here's the thing is I might have been putting words in his mouth. He might have not said gay, but he was like, he was totally attracted to Bashir.
Oh, well, that's the thing is with aliens, like attraction isn't really the attraction that we would see as attraction. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right. Our obviously like a lot of our morals and ethics and the way that we go about into the universe as human beings is based on some kind of version of some kind of religion somewhere, right? Whether it's the 10 Commandments or whether it's spirituality or the Golden Rule, someone created and established this part for the human culture. But then all of a sudden you have this alien race that has no bearing on our culture. So it's kind of like Captain Jack Harkness.
Captain Jack, making a Doctor Who reference. I love it. I think, sir, you should probably read the comments because I think you all owe us a round.
Did I say something official?
You brought official business into this conversation by talking mission log. That's official business.
Oh my God.
So, ding, ding.
All right, everyone gets around for me.
Baby. Let's go.
Wow, Earl called me out. Damn.
Good job, Earl.
Oh, okay.
Next round is on Mr. Norman.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of which, I knew this is my first drink of the night. I knew I wasn't going to get through the whole hour without pouring another. So I have my little bar set up with me. By the way, if you have access to this vodka, it is amazing. It's potato vodka from Idaho.
Nice.
And I have actually been to Rigby, Idaho, where that comes from. And, it's just this little place with tons and tons of potato fields with really dark, rich soil, just as you would expect.
Nice.
And yeah, Idaho is really pretty. Not as pretty as Utah, though. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if as far as like natural wonders, Utah is it's gorgeous. All of its canyons and that red rock. Oh, I love it.
I haven't been to either.
Oh.
You
know, someday when it's safe to travel again, you ought to take a road trip. Just, go, what is it, Zion in Utah? Go there. Or heck, even if you're just going to Salt Lake, travel through the canyons and go see the Great Salt Lake. Yep. Salt Lake City in and of itself, actually maybe do drive around on a Sunday because it's so quiet. I mean, Salt Lake City has the stereotype of being very Mormon. And it does have a half Mormon population. It's not the most Mormon city, though, but it is quiet because everything is so closed. My husband and I know this because we drove through Salt Lake on a Sunday on our honeymoon, coming back home to Wyoming, where we were living at the time. And we were trying to find a place to eat for lunch. The only thing that was open was a freaking Olive Garden downtown.
Oh, love those breadsticks, though, right?
Right? You gotta love the breadsticks, and we had the tiramisu. It was fine. It was great.
Oh yeah.
It got us home.
Yeah, that's one section of the country that I haven't spent a lot of time in. It would be like, Wyoming, Utah, any of the Dakotas, north or south.
Okay. Oh, I could tell you all about that. I've lived in North Dakota. I lived in Wyoming. I've traveled through all of those Western states.
Wyoming is home to my favorite U.S.-based whiskey distillery.
That's right. Yes, it is. I have gotten you some Wyoming whiskey.
Yes, you did, and it was long since gone. that bottle
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was good stuff. All right, so
Super
we're gonna
Dave, you're honestly not missing too much about an Olive Garden. It's sort of like the McDonald's of Italian food, as far as that's concerned in a restaurant. However, they do make just the most buttery, garlicky breadsticks you've ever had in your life, and they're just so delicious.
Well, they want you to fill up on the breadsticks. It's easy to fill up on breadsticks, right?
Yes. And then if you're getting this massive pasta dish, which is well over a day's worth of calories in and of itself, you take that to go home, you got yourself another meal for another day. That's how you do Olive Garden.
Yeah, well, they have the never-ending pasta bowl, right?
So, yeah.
So you keep that coming, and all of a sudden you're like, you get to the point where you look like, you had maybe one serving too many, and it's like, can I get that to go? Then you have
exactly.
A full
That's how you do
bowl.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta play the system. It's like, I don't make the rules, I just play by them, right? So
that's right. It's their house. They made those rules. You're just following them.
Yeah. So and the house always wins, because then, like, when you really take a look at the cost, the cost per dollar value of what they're getting, they are making. Yeah. They're still making money off you. Right?
Oh, of course they are. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't do it if they weren't making money. Of course.
Right. So going back to the bunny, so we got that out of the way, got work out of the way. So sat down, finally watched. I think it was 3 episodes of Lower Decks that I didn't see. So I got to see.
Oh wow, you did have some catching up to do.
Yeah, it was Veritas, which I loved.
Oh yeah, that is good. However. Then it's followed up by Crisis Point, which just blew my socks off. Oh my God, I love this show so much. But what did you think?
Okay, so this is where
what can of worms have I opened here? Okay, okay.
It's not, but I think I brought up a point to you where so I texted Char the other day and I said I finished with the 3 episodes. I can't remember what was the first one where Boimler went.
The Boimler one. Okay, that was before Veritas.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's ancient now. Hang on one sec.
So it was
Unless the audience chimes in first.
Yeah, it was that one, Veritas, and Crisis Point. One of the reasons why I liked Veritas so much is because instantly I knew that the alien dude was Kurtwood Smith, and I love anything with Kurtwood Smith in it, right? He also looked
Much Ado About Boimler was the episode title.
Okay, that one then, right? So the question that I posed to Char after watching these episodes, and I liked it more. I didn't think that Veritas was as much of
derivative.
Yeah, that's a great word for it, derivatives. Crisis Point strengths were really on it leaning so heavily on being the animated recreation of so many motion picture references, right?
Well, yes, and granted, that was the whole idea, right? I mean, they even changed the aspect ratio and put in film grain. Like, we're making a movie, so this is going to be completely over the top, and we're going to go through all the tropes, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But now I'm cutting you off. Please continue.
But those are the good things. And then I'm not saying what they did and how they executed it was bad. I think it was actually brilliant because you actually did get to see film grain stock. Why you would, I'm going to pull a Philip. Why are you seeing then film grain stock when these things are in 4K and they're all digitally done? So you wouldn't actually have spots or film grains, but I just digress. So
authenticity, bitch.
There's no authenticity in 4K film grain. Like J.J. Abrams, they wouldn't have done that.
But come on, like, okay, but if you're going to throw in the lens flare, you might as well throw in just a little bit of film grain and like the cigarette burner. That's for when projectionists know they need to change their film. Because that's how people would do it before it all went digital.
I know.
Now, come on, no, that's fun.
But there's no film anymore. If you're going to do it,
it
does. Because
no, it doesn't.
Yes, because if you're going to go the JJ route, you're in modern digital cinematography.
You're no fun.
I know, it's terrible. I'm not saying they did it poorly. I'm just saying I'm throwing the damn Vulcan logic into the equation.
Yeah, and how dare you?
However, I really did like the I really did like the motion picture homage because it was great.
Come on. That was beautiful. It
was.
Went on too long, just like it was supposed to. And then my favorite part is just, you spin me right round, baby, right round. Yeah, come on. If you're not appreciating that, you're not a real fan.
I totally appreciated it.
It's good shit. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is I think that the writers are actually shortchanging themselves.
This is your argument, right? And I said, stop right here. Let's bring it to the show because I know there's multiple perspectives on this where people like myself actually love all of these derivative references because I see it as a celebration of all Trek, and that is a part of the Lower Decks formula. Now, not everybody sees it that way. I know you're saying it has the potential to stand on its own 2 feet without making so many references, and you'd rather see something like that. And then there's all the spots in between. So I'd love to know, listeners, what do you think about this aspect of Lower Decks? Do you find the references a little heavy-handed? Do you appreciate them? Where are you on this?
Well, as they're chiming in, like say, for instance, there was a scene where Mariner was saying something and then, she saved, Jack from getting, dating a salt monster. Why did it have to be a salt monster? Like, why couldn't it have been
because why not?
But why not be something original?
Because then it might not have been as funny because we know what the salt monster is. Yeah,
but that's the thing is like they're depending on you associating your enjoyment of that scene from a nostalgic response as opposed to something original. Be original.
Okay, so you're just saying you're trying to avoid the whole member berries thing. That's a South Park reference for those who don't know. We're like, oh hey, remember the salt monster? Check this out. We're gonna put in a salt monster.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not saying that it has to be like that all the time. It's just that they do it. They really lean into it a lot consecutively in every, not in every episode, but in every episode. There's like the thing with Dega Raynar and Khan. First of all, who the heck is Dega Raynar? Or Groga Danar?
You know what? No, I loved that nerd argument just because he is such a, I mean, who would think of that character except for a really deep cut nerd fan? And then you're going to compare him to Khan? Are you kidding? But people have these kind of outrageous arguments all the time and always have on the internet. This is nerd culture. They're speaking to us.
Maybe they're speaking too loudly.
You don't like their volume, huh?
It makes sense when it doesn't feel as forced. And sometimes it's just like, okay, I get it. You're referencing something. It's great and you do it well, but it seems like out of a 22-minute episode, a lot of it is really leaning heavily on my reaction to nostalgia, right? As opposed to like the whole thing with, now here's a good example of what I liked about Veritas is that it's obviously parodying Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
Right, of course.
Right? Yeah. You had the downlighting, the Klingon, gavel, all of that, right? You even had Kral or Crad or Clad or whatever his name is, Klar. But he had the eye patch thing like General Chang, and he sounded like Chang, but they didn't make mention of anything like that. But it was there, right?
Okay, so you like the subtlety.
Yeah, and if they want to bring in like a different reference, that's fine. But and the subversion was when they flipped up the lights. I'm sorry, we're spoiling this if anyone hasn't seen it. Sorry.
Well, but you would have figured it out by now.
But then they threw on the lights and it's like, it's a party. I'm like, what just happened? Right?
That's the lower deck spin, right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Okay, I see your point. I don't fully agree with it because I thoroughly enjoyed Crisis Point. I love the idea that with the idea of a movie, you're going to amp it up and you're going to play to all of those tropes, like especially the reference to beaming. Well, it's the movies. We can beam and do whatever we want. I mean, I love that.
No,
come on, that was hilarious. It was a nice little acknowledgement. Yeah, we know, and we're gonna throw it out there and say, yeah,
Yeah, and I think, the other thing was, man, there was a lot of murdering going on in that episode.
Oh, I mean, but there's a lot of murder kind of in the movies. Like even going to the motion picture, it wasn't murder, but somebody got killed in the freaking transporter of all things.
Yeah, but it wasn't gleeful murder for murder's sake.
No, but it was a death, and it was somewhat gruesome and unexpected, and boy, did it hurt.
No, that's true. I don't disagree with that. But what Mariner was doing, she was just phasering people like it was no tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Well, this was Mariner kind of getting unhinged, right? Where she's living out what she thinks is her ultimate fantasy of, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get you all, only to realize, whoa, this isn't who I am at all. I love her basically using this holodeck program like she is her own worst enemy. The worst parts of herself are making her do the things that are holding her back. This is finally an examination of this character that I have been waiting for.
Right.
And I'm really hoping in the next episode, we really come to terms with what happened in her past. Why was she demoted? What really happened? Here's my theory. Okay, can I throw this out?
Just throw it out.
Okay, sort of like a Wesley Wonderkin character. She was just a rising star. She was expected to just reach out there and rise through the ranks like wildfire, beating out Captain Kirk and just, being a gangbuster Starfleet officer, the best of the absolute best. And that was going to be that. Now, the one thing that holds me up, Mariner mentions at age 8 specifically, something happened. Like, why have you hated me, Mom, since age 8? What happened? Was that when she realized that she was a genius or something and scored off the charts on tests or something? And then that sort of fast-tracked her into this career path that ultimately she maybe sabotaged or failed in and has maybe had some serious repercussions from. Either way, something went wrong at that point because they mentioned it very specifically. So that's in my head for sure. But then with Mariner kind of facing her own demons, which is herself, I want to understand so much more. And I kind of hate that they're waiting until episode 10 to bring it all out. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that episode 10 is a real freaking humdinger because I want payoff. Now, I have low bar hopes because that is unfortunately what Star Trek Discovery and Picard have both done for me, where they really build on that melodrama, both of those shows. And then really, the payoff does come at the 11th hour, and it's somewhat satisfying, but it doesn't tie up all those loose ends. So
that's why you have more seasons.
Well, yes, but I'm sorry. You need some amount of closure to satisfy your audience and make them still want more. You've got to balance that. Now, Lower Decks has been very good at that, so I have a little more hope than I do with other series. And yet, I know, don't expect too much. Just set the bar low and be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, I just think that I like the reason why Mariner made the film. It's just that it's just too heavy-handed when it came to the stylization of the fonts, the way that the opening credits were, even like, I mean, the generations, the crash landing of the saucer section and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, come on. That was beautiful. That was a combination of Generations and Timeless all in one. Yeah, come the F on. That was beautiful. And I just love how it's spinning on its side like a plate.
I don't know. I just think that they can be, I think they're smarter writers than to lean onto nostalgia so heavily. Like, if you do that, you're robbing yourself of your own originality. That's the way.
And you know what? Maybe, remember, this is the first season. Mm-hmm. Maybe they are pandering a little too much to nostalgia at this point. And they might stand on their own 2 feet. And let's say by season 3, that's really when Star Trek shows come into their own, right? I don't know. In the meantime, I'm enjoying it because I see it as a celebration of the Star Trek that's come before. I'm seeing them acknowledging it and saying, hey, look, we are self-aware. We know what this show is. We know what Star Trek is. And I feel like this is a show by fans for fans.
But I mean, they can do it by fans for fans, but they don't have to be by fans for fans. And we're telling you exactly how much of fandom that we know. I mean, that's you know what I mean?
I know. Okay.
We're
spinning our wheels on this argument. Let's go to some comments, shall we? I want to know what our members of the audience think here. Now, one really good point. J.J. Abrams loves film.
Yeah, but his film doesn't have pops and scratches and stuff.
Shut up.
but
sorry, being rude.
But Star Trek 2 did, so I'll give him credit for that. But then again, that's 1982.
Well, there you go. And given that there is like such a Star Trek 2-esque film score at the very beginning, especially with the TNG modified font. Oh man, how does that not make your nostalgic heart swell with pride? Come on.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying that I'd rather see things that are original. I've seen that before.
Well, Patrick agrees with me, and he says that he's all about the references, so I'm with him.
I'm about well-timed references.
Okay.
You know? It's kind of like,
you like that really dismissive? Okay.
Well, it's kind of like, okay, it's like a chocolate chip cookie. You can only have, like, there is, like, a diminishing returns of too many chocolate chips. Or else why not just have a chocolate cookie?
Okay. That's true. And that's why I wanted to put it out there to the audience. Like, is it too much? Maybe, I mean, everybody's experience is a little different. Maybe just because I'm enjoying it doesn't mean you're all enjoying it. And hey, consensus. I mean, if this is a so-called democracy, which we still allegedly have in the United States of America, majority rules.
You know what? Probably my biggest thing is with the references is that they are really TOS heavy. I'm like, get more Voyager, get more DS9, get more animated series, get more other things, but they're so TOS heavy.
You know, I haven't felt that way at all. I feel like they have pulled from all the other series at some point or another. If anything, maybe more DS9
and
Enterprise.
So?
Maybe, yeah, because I mean,
we haven't seen a lot of Yeah, we haven't had a lot of Enterprise.
Not a whole lot.
The movies.
We've had tons of TNG. We've had some TOS
stuff, you know.
Oh, sure. But we have pulled from the animated series. We have pulled a little bit from Enterprise. And there have been some Voyager references. So I don't feel like they're shortchanging everybody. They really are pulling from all corners, which I appreciate. Even Star Trek Phase 2 with the Zahn reference.
Yeah, that's true. They did that.
So, hey, come on. That's cool.
It is cool. But see, that thing is, those, like I said, those references are deep cut. That's the kind of stuff that I would like to see more of, like the deep cut stuff, like stuff that you really got it. Like, I don't know. The one thing I did like the Dana Ricknar versus Khan, because who the hell, I can't even say that guy's name right. Who the hell cares about that guy?
You have to look it up on Memory Alpha if you don't remember, right? Okay, here's the other thing, though, that I want to bring up is...
No one has to look up Khan's name on Memory Alpha, ever.
Hell no. No, you really don't. Not even my husband, who's a not even a casual fan. I have made him watch Star Trek, and he watches Star Trek with me because I like Star Trek.
I said this to a friend of mine. I said, sorry, but I was like, no one's ever heard of the Wrath of Roga Dagar movie, have they?
It's true. It's true.
Right? No one's ever shouted out saying, Dagar! Says no one ever. Right?
Maybe we should have. That sounds pretty good.
So
here's the thing. Okay, for those who are maybe just casually into some things like adult animation, maybe some Rick and Morty fans who like Mike McMahon's work and want to check out Star Trek Lower Decks, they're not going to understand all these references. And to a point, they're doing it for those of us who do, but you also have to make it accessible for those who don't. People like my husband who aren't going to get all those references.
Mm-hmm. But originality access is accessible to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That really feeds into your point. Damn it.
Anyway, this is just a potato thing because I do like Lower Decks quite a bit.
Well, and it's all subjective, right? Like we're all going to get different things out of all of these different series that we're getting out of Star Trek in 2020. I mean, we all reacted differently to Picard. We've all got our favorite episodes and the ones that we like the least. And yes, I do highly recommend picking up the Blu-ray of Picard. I would watch it for sure. It is worth watching. And it is out now, so definitely grab it. I'm going to get a copy for sure, just because digital media still feels fickle to me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually, I've been looking for and collecting things that it's kind of like when there was like this big movement from VHS to DVD, and they upscaled a lot of, and Earl's well versed in this, but they the VHSs, they were just kind of upscaled and put on DVD just to have that more
just to have it.
Just to have that more less fragile, storage technology, like DVDs versus tapes, like magnetic tapes. So, but the thing is that transfers are terrible. Like transfers are terrible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'd rather have, like, I just bought the complete series of TJ Hooker on DVD, right? Because like if I had them on VHS, they just wouldn't last. They just wouldn't, they wouldn't survive well, right? You can't stick them in, like you can stick DVDs in a hot room and 9 times out of 10, they'd be okay. You stick VHSs in a hot, moist Florida environment, they would warp, right? You stick them in your VHS and they would just get all garbled and stuff like that. It would look like the background of Mariner's movie.
Now question, do you have a VHS to DVD converter? Because if you don't have one, you ought to get one while you still can. Those exist. They're cheap.
So no lie, but they were cleaning out the Chicago Simple Green office and they had a bunch of stuff in storage, and someone said, "Hey, does anybody want this VHS player?" So I look at it and it is a converter. It's a VHS to DVD. Yeah. And I was like, I'll take it. Now, like the front end's like busted off. There's like no remote. I have it like in a box somewhere, but I'm like, where can I take this to get this refurbished? Because this is like cool technology. Speaking of which, something happened that was funny that John Champion and I were talking about on a show.
Don't go into official business.
Oh, that's right. It's official. I can't say that.
Next round, baby.
Damn.
Oh, this is a happy hour indeed.
Well, it's happy for someone.
Not your bank account.
No, my credit chip is
lots of credits.
It's a good thing that I have those.
Credits.
It's a good thing I have those Centauri Ducats hidden somewhere in my room illegally. So I heard that Mike McMahon is developing an X-Files style show, a la Rick and Morty, a la Lower Decks.
Oh, Mike
is that
McMahon?
True? Yeah.
Is he? I don't know. I know that there is a show that is being developed, but I didn't know that it was possibly by him.
I thought it was his next project after when like Lower Decks is off, then they do this project.
Okay, I don't know that for a fact. If it is true, please confirm in the comments if you know about it. If not, I do know that the show is in the works, but I didn't ever know it was by him possibly.
I do owe big time. I know. That's a sure.
Yeah, Terry Lynn. Make him pay up, baby.
All right, so here's a promise to make to everybody.
If I may cut in real quick, because she mentioned something in the comments. She said I should write more. I am writing an audio drama with Philip Gilfus, who co-hosted Zócalo a couple weeks ago. We have an original sci-fi series that we're going to release as a podcast. It's going to be 5 episodes when we're all done. It has been a process. We've done a lot of world building for this series, and then it centers around our two main characters who are co-captains. And then we're going to talk about all sorts of misadventures, and it's turned into a really cool thing. I'm really proud of it. It's going to take a lot of work to get us to the finish line, but with all the things that both Philip and I are doing, it's been a very slow and steady finishes the race type of thing. And I'm okay with that because it's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to happen eventually. And when it does, I hope you'll all really enjoy it. So that all said, I'm writing.
And you just got to plow forward, right? Like JMS says, you just got to plow
Every
forward.
week we're taking steps forward. You know, he and I are both working on it. And eventually we'll get to, once we're done writing, we'll record it. Then we got to edit it. And then we got to release it. But eventually I'm hoping maybe within the next 6 months, we'll be at that point where we get to release it and share it with the world. But let me tell you, it is a process, especially with only 2 people doing all of that work. Oh my gosh. I didn't know.
You were not prepared.
I've never done anything quite like this, where it is on such a scale where for 2 people, it's overwhelming at times, and yet we're having such a good time with it. It really is great. We are creating a very cool thing here. It's great. It's ended up being bigger than I imagined. And I'm hoping that when we have the final finished product, that just we're gonna look back on it and just say, wow.
I almost
hey, check that out. We did that.
I almost Michael Scotted you a second ago.
Oh, when?
So it's bigger than I imagined. I was about to say that's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I know you're an Office fan,
can do that.
right? Okay.
I love The Office. I really do. Yes.
Okay. So do you like all of The Office or just
Oh yeah.
the whole, even
except
with
for
Andy?
season 8 of the American show.
Ah, there it is.
Season 8 is crap. Okay.
That's when Andy took over, right? Ish.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't really care for Andy. Ed Helms is fine, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like they ever figured out that character.
Was that the Sabra season? Or Saber?
It was just after Sabre. And it should have been Sabre because of that cool song that they made.
But it was that was still with what's his name, Hollywood, right?
Oh no, this was okay. When Andy took over, it was after Robert California did, I believe. Yeah, Robert California. Yeah, he was a nice, eclectic, cool dude. And then we had Will Ferrell play a little bit for a while.
Oh, then we had Donna. Donna was in it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Donna was there.
Doctor Who's Donna.
We had a lot of mishaps. We really did.
Yeah.
But yeah. Season 8 of The Office. I do not own it. I have all the other seasons of The Office on DVD. We watch them fairly regularly, but I feel like season 9 is just a do-over of what happened in season 8, only maybe a little better. Because you've got kind of like the conflict between Jim and Pam, which is a big, long arc that kind of doesn't really go anywhere. And then, Andy's in charge, so what? And then I don't even remember what else happened.
Well, Dwight, got married.
That was at the very end. That was season 9. That does matter because that happened in the last episode, which is so very good.
It is.
Earl has an amazing comment. The crowd will understand me when I say that even The Office had its own Byron. Oh, burn. Yeah, it's Andy.
Is it Andy?
I think so, yeah. Because Andy liked to sing, too.
Was Andy a Byron or was it Andy a Keffer?
Nah, because Andy didn't die.
But
he didn't burn out after a season.
I thought he like went off somewhere like on his ship and just
He did.
Disappeared. Yeah.
He did, but then he came back and tried to play it off as if nothing had happened.
Right. That's weird.
Terry, to answer your question, no, I'm still watching West Wing. We are in season 4. No spoilers, please. Oh my gosh, I'm enjoying this show so much. So for those of you who don't know, I'm watching the West Wing for the first time. Yes, it's 20 years old. I don't care. This is how I do TV shows. Mm-hmm. We're watching it for the first time, and this is surprisingly a comforting show right now with everything that's happening, out there. This reminds me of the politics of yore, which felt crazy in their time. Yet compared to what we're doing now, wow. And then just these characters are so beautifully written. I'm having such a good time watching this show. It's my happy place right now, and I'm all too happy to binge, as many shows as my husband wants.
So yours become 1990, huh? In the
I came of
mid-90s.
age in the 90s. I'm a 90s girl.
The days of yore. You know what? I'm glad that you're watching it, because I actually get, coincidentally enough, Carol's stepfather, who convalesces in his own room, had the West Wing on repeat. So he was watching West Wing also. So I was like, I haven't seen this in a while. I was like, wow.
It's such a good show. I understand now why it won all those awards way back when.
When you get a chance, like after the West Wing, I would suggest The Newsroom, because that was like Aaron Sorkin, but with like HBO flexibility. You know what I mean?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I'm totally going to go there. I am a big fan of Aaron Sorkin, especially right now.
Yeah.
I understand now, like, okay, he was a cocaine-fueled genius, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, he was one of those visionary, legendary creators, at the time. That's why the West Wing was just so. And also, I mean, I personally think it launched like Bradley Whitford, Allison Janney. It gave Rob Lowe like a whole new career.
Oh my gosh, what an ensemble cast. I know that they were initially going to make Rob Lowe kind of the big main feature, but I'm glad that didn't happen. No offense, Rob Lowe, you're great. I love you. Yeah. But you've got so much other talent. I'm glad that they expanded that to let everybody shine. Oh my gosh.
And Dule Hill. Dule Hill's awesome.
Oh man. And apparently they're doing this thing on HBO Max that's going to be a little bit of a revival, October 15th, if I'm recalling correctly. And I don't know if I should finish watching the series before we watch that or not, just because I don't know what happens. I'm going to wait. But I'm going to watch it because, oh my God, I love this show so much. I really do.
Martin Sheen is fabulous. He's so good.
I love that so much, that he was originally not supposed to be that much in the show. He was going to be a rare appearance, but he was so good as President Bartlett that they made him a main character.
And this was like one of the rare times that I actually got to see Stockard Channing outside of my multiple watchings of Grease.
Nice.
No, it's a great cast, great writing, great great everything.
Truly. Yeah. I mean, I keep vacillating on who is my favorite character. And sometimes it varies even from episode to episode. Sometimes it's President Bartlett. Sometimes it's Josh. Sometimes it's CJ. I love them all, honestly. Like, oh my gosh, if I could be a fly on that wall. Now, that said, though, they're all a bunch of freaking workaholics. They have no life outside of that office. They live and breathe what they do. Good for them. That's not the life I want, but good for them.
Or maybe afterwards you should watch Veep. Veep takes completely stereo.
It's a very different take, isn't it?
Stereotypical, stylized, take on, well, at least the vice president's version of the West Wing. And Julie
I've heard it's a good show.
Amazing. It's amazing.
That's what I've heard. I've never had HBO for long enough to check it out, but that's probably somewhere on my list just because I've heard it is that good. And hey, anytime you can watch a good political satire to use as escapism, that's probably not a bad thing right about now.
So are you subscribed to Max? Is that what you're saying?
No, but maybe I will be because of the West Wing thing that they're doing mid-October.
Because then you'll get access to the Newsroom and Veep, because those are both HBO shows. So
it'll all kind of help itself out.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, guess what, dear? We're over an hour.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Yeah. Why did I call you dear? That's
I
weird.
don't know, but I just really kind of reflexively yes, dear. Are we there
what
already?
What is happening?
That's because we had that was our makeup after our first kind of on-screen tiff.
It's true. We had disagreements about Lower Decks. We had to bury the hatchet, and now we're at a point where we're good again, and we can proceed with the Zocalo as ordered.
Etc. Etc. Etc.
That's right. So next week we will do kind of a like a more typical show. We'll have a topic. It'll be Babylon 5 related. We'll go back to business as usual. This was kind of an easing transition into getting back into the show, just because we did have to take a little bit of a break because of all the crazies that's been going on, both just in our personal, professional, and otherwise outside the world lives.
So I'm going to call out Earl Green. You think you're going to skate by with a potato reference? Precious. Potato.
BC is calling us kids. Are we kids?
Oh, we're definitely Arrested Development for sure. Oh.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Which character are you?
I love. I don't know it that well, but I do love. Oh, he's on Veep too. He's like the eccentric brother, kind of. Is
it Buster or Gob?
It's like
Will Arnett.
No, it's not Will Arnett. I know Will Arnett.
Okay, it's not Gob. So I call him Gob.
It's he's a really kind of almost effeminate kind of personality.
Buster.
That's it. Yeah, he's on Veep also. It's freaking
nice.
Hilarious.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm Lindsay Bluth. I'm not that vain. I'm probably more of a maybe.
Okay.
But I'm not her exactly. I'm not sure. I'm a weird mix between maybe her and John Michael.
Didn't they like create a character in Archer after the mother?
I don't know.
Like she voices that character. That she looks just like her.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. I've never watched Archer.
Yeah. No, what?
Yeah. No. Look, there's so much TV out there. I can't keep up, man. We need more pandemics so that I can sit around and watch TV all friggin' day.
If you love satirical humor and you love adult animation,
and I do,
I'm surprised that you have not already like finished Archer.
You know what? As long as it doesn't get in way of the revival of the Beavis and Butthead thing, then I'm cool.
Oh, that's right. You're doing
because I'm all about Beavis and Butthead. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I study Beavis and Butthead on an intellectual level. I'm not kidding.
So we all juggle, some people juggle geese. Get that reference out there. I dare you.
No, like my husband and I, Patrick, we love Beavis and Butthead almost to a fault, where we actually are nerds. We study it, and we have actually taken notes to discuss Beavis and Butthead on podcasts before, and we'll do it again. And yes, Super Dave, Beavis and Butthead is coming back on Comedy Central. We currently don't have a date. We just know that Mike Judge is developing a new series.
So what do you think was the better written show, Beavis and Butthead or King of the Hill?
I haven't watched King of the Hill enough to make a real judgment about that. King of the Hill didn't grab me the way Beavis and Butthead did.
I think Mike Judge also didn't he do Silicon Valley?
Yes, he did, as well as Office Space and Idiocracy, among many other things.
He's like the comic version of like not the comic, but like the cartoon, the animation like version of Judd Apatow.
He is.
Right?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Because all of a sudden you'll have, this like this feels so familiar, and I love it. But is it the same dude? And then all of a sudden, yes, I sell propane and propane parts.
Yeah, that was a part of what I didn't necessarily care too much about King of the Hill. Like, okay, I know people like this. I grew up around them in Wyoming. I didn't need to hear or see more of it. Whereas Beavis and Butthead, I mean, for all of its faults, and I see their faults, and I understand why people hated the show, it really did come into its own and became a really cleverly written thing. Because it's hard, believe it or not, to write stupid.
And
you have to do it in a very clever way.
Yeah.
And so once they figured that out, the show got really good. So my husband and I right now are going through Beavis and Butthead, trying to figure out when the show really started getting consistently good. We're watching, I think, 93 to 94 right now. We're still trying to figure it out. And the show debuted regularly, like I think 92. Those early episodes are horrible. The vast majority suck. They really do. It's amazing the show ever got off the ground, but I'm so glad it did.
Like early Seinfeld wasn't really that good. Early Simpsons wasn't really that good. You know, it had to find its season 3, right?
It's true. It's true. Once the show figures out what it is and what they want to do with it, then bam, you're either with it or you're not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved it when they were doing when they were just ripping on videos. Oh my God, so good.
Oh, some of them are so damn good, man. Yeah. I mean, just I love that version of stupidity where it is all in good fun. And when it wasn't a day where it was just, no, these people aren't real. There's caricatures of people that we know who are stupid, but they're not this stupid. And it's fake because it's animation. You have that disconnect where you can still enjoy it. God, I miss that.
I hear you.
We're way over time now. I'm sorry. I had to talk about Beavis and Butthead. I could do that all freaking night.
We're after hours at EARHART'S. I think Kat's going to kick us out.
Happy hour's over. Oh, no.
No more free drinks from me.
You've already bought enough rounds.
I'll tell you what, though. If ever we get a chance to all see each other, which would be amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I promise you, I will put this on in memoriam. If we all get a chance to see each other and you find me at a bar, I will buy you a drink. I will buy you as many drinks as you like because I can't wait for that to happen. Honestly, I can't.
Oh, Gal, I'm really hoping sometime in 2021 we'll feel safe enough and be safe enough.
I want to buy you a drink. I want to buy you a whole fleet of drinks.
You know, and here's the real thing is I've gotten sick at almost every single Star Trek Las Vegas convention I've been to. Oh, no. You know, I've ended up with the cold or worse. Hate to say it, but it happened in 2015. I got walking pneumonia along with 150 other reported cases that year.
Yeah.
And it's easy to spread germs in that environment.
Oh,
but
totally.
That said, if we can possibly sometime in the near future all come together, man, I would love it too. I really would. Oh my God. Even if we have to wear masks, I don't care. Let's do it.
Yep. I hope that happens sooner than later, but definitely
me too.
When there's a better safety net for us, like an actual vaccine or some type of reversal of the momentum of the virus. So
right. We can't count on herd immunity. That's really not working for us.
You mean herd mentality?
Herd mentality. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it, brain. Okay, we're officially on the vodka, aren't we?
No, you're right. The other guy was wrong. Herd immunity is right. When he was on his one press conference, like, I have the herd mentality. It's the greatest mentality in the world. I have the best mentality. Tremendous amounts of herd. You've heard this. You've heard about the herd.
Sure.
Right. And yes.
Yeah, and I will not go into a rant about any of that right now. I have a lot of things to say, but we do not have the time, and this is not really the place.
No, we don't even necessarily have all the liquor that we need.
Yeah. Also, BC mentions we have the Cantor's date to make. I totally agree. I have not been to Cantor's yet, and we need to go. Because Cantor's is an institution in LA. I know. There's so many things that I still have not done, and I've been in LA for more than 5 years.
That would be a great party, though. We could have our party plus Mission Lock together, plus everyone from LA.
Oh my gosh! Plus, we need to go Cerritos and get Mexican food, right?
Well, what?
Hello. I know. We have so much to do before you leave for Florida, sir.
Oh, by the way, is that why there's so much Mexican food served on the ship?
I think so, because LA's Mexican food scene is hot. Let me tell you.
But there were nachos being strewn around. There was tostada bowls. Taco salads, all that stuff getting replicated.
I'm thinking it's because LA, LA Mexican food cannot be beat. We are the thing. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that burrito I got to end the story. I got to end my last story on. So I've been telling Char for weeks. I've been missing burritos because I used to go at least once a week to a decent Mexican place across from work. But there's this place on Westminster Boulevard. It had a great Yelp thing being reviews. So I ordered a shredded chicken burrito, and when I was just like, I haven't had one in so long. I said, please be good.
Yeah.
Not to make my mouth water a little bit more, but I just have to. The only way I could describe it is the way that Londo would describe it. Like, it was glorious. It was glorious.
You know what? That's what a bomb ass burrito will do to you.
Hell yeah, it will.
Oh. Fucking... Put on that adult warning.
Because it is like unending bite after bite after bite of heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's this constant barrage on your taste buds, and it really does just feel like you're on another level of existence. It's that good.
New Mexico is Tex-Mex.
And that is good too. I am not knocking it.
No,
because Tex-Mex is amazing. That's honestly the best that I could get in Wyoming. And I thought that was really good. And it is. However, authentic Mexican. Oh, man. It really is my favorite.
So good.
Can't beat it.
So
I mean, I would love. I would love if we could have a Val-2 party in May of 2021, Terry Lynn. I really do. We're going to have to wait and see, of course, because for one, winter is supposed to be pretty bad as far as this whole thing goes. I mean, Dr. Fauci is saying hunker down when, I mean, in California, we've not stopped hunkering down. I mean, we never got to a point where we could not hunker down.
True.
And now the West and the Midwest are struggling. And so this is not going away. Everybody, please wear your masks, be safe, stay healthy. And that said, if we can, when we can, we will. Because damn it, we deserve it.
I'll tell you what, if you want to eat, hands down, and this is my favorite sandwich in the world, a pastrami Reuben. Mm-hmm. You can't beat Cantor's. You cannot beat Cantor's for their pastrami.
That's what I've heard.
They're
now,
unreal.
As a vegetarian, I'm wondering what their offerings offer.
Oh, well, I mean, they have like a 20-page menu and like 6
Okay,
points,
good.
In like 6
so they got
font.
something.
Yeah,
okay.
I think they like name it. You know, it's very so Cantor's. I know we keep going. This is story time.
We really are like. Have we stopped caring at this point?
Well, I could wrap this up real quick. But the thing is that so Katz is in New York. I believe it's like Katz is the big deli, and was it like 7th Avenue, and the brother or brothers of that deli decided they got so many orders from celebrities in New York when they were visiting for like awards and stuff like that, when they went to the West Coast, they were like, we would make special orders so that this stuff would get sent to us, blah, 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 blah. So they said there was so much volume from the celebrities that they decided to open up their own place in Los Angeles, in Fairfax. So,
is that how that happened?
Yeah, there was I think it was there was a brothers partnership of that deli and Cantor's. Now, I'm not sure of the whole story, but I know that the reason why it was there because there was a huge, there was just a huge demand of the New York style deli, from all of the celebrities in Hollywood.
Oh, no kidding.
And in that section there, I mean, you were literally catering to kind of like the Hollywood, Melrose, when Hollywood was closer towards that end of business. So as opposed to now, closer into LA. So yeah, that's when old Hollywood was there.
Sure. Oh gosh, yeah, classic Hollywood. That's fun stuff.
And small last story. When you go in there, I'm not sure if it's still there though, but Guns N' Roses / and the owner's son were really good friends. So they kept that place open at night, and I think that they said that's where they wrote Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, Guns N' Roses is an institution in LA. You will not go an hour on LA radio without hearing Guns N' Roses.
Right. They kept that place open for them. They would get fed there. They would just hang out, smoke cigarettes, drink coffee, eat, and write.
Huh.
because
I don't
Slash,
doubt it.
yeah, because Slash was like really good friends with like the owner's son or sons or daughter, something like that.
Wow. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all coming full circle here. I get it. This is LA in a nutshell.
So that was fun. That's our EARHART'S show. Right?
Yay! Yes, indeed. Very nice. Okay. Well, this was a lot of fun. Next week, we haven't really discussed what we're doing yet, so we can't announce what that's going to be. We'll figure it out. We'll let you all know. And if you haven't joined us on the Discord server, I think most folks who are watching us live are on the Discord server. But if you're watching kind of off the cuff and you want to join us, I'm going to post a link. These links only last about 24 hours. So if you miss out, you can hit me up on Twitter, and my handle is Oh the Profanity. I will get you a link and make sure you can join the party, because that's where we go after the show. That's where we chat up. That's where we post memes. That's where we have fun. And sometimes we post Zocalo exclusives. So that's kind of cool.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have custom icons now. I did that in your absence, Norm, where we've got like special things for our channel. So
check all that out, folks.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's fun. And there's good people in there. You know, it's all like-minded Babylon 5 fans. We have a good time. It's civil discussion. I have not had to ban or reprimand a single person in the channel.
And I hope that never happens. Not to Babylon 5
I don't want that
fans.
to happen. I hate being a bad guy. No, I don't want to be Night Watch. Ew.
Or Badmiral.
I don't want to be a Admiral either. Although I will tell you, if you are spouting sheer effing hubris,
yeah, then you can be a Badmiral.
Right. Then I'll be a Badmiral, and I'll call you out, and then it's up to you.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us for an extra long show. It was extra long because we haven't been on together in a while, and as always, so much
and we
fun.
missed you all. We really did. I mean,
this
is kind of a nice little refuge from all the things that are happening outside. This is our happy place. This is a good place. This is our Babylon 5 place on most weeks. Now, this was an exception, but this was the way to kind of just start to get back. We did it to catch up.
Yeah, for sure. And with everybody, not just with each other, but with everybody. And if you have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, and we haven't talked about it before, because our library is actually getting pretty darn full. Our backlog is amazing.
Big. Yeah, please, by all means, especially in the Discord server, you are welcome to suggest topics. It doesn't mean we're going to get to it right away, but we put it into a bank.
Yeah.
And, you know, we always put it up for a possibility. And then a lot of times we do topics as the mood strikes. So if something hits a nerve, we'll say, oh, hell yeah. Or, oh, that sounds really good. Let's do it later. It just depends on how we're feeling. Anyway. Yeah, that's a great show. Thank you all for joining us. Terry Lynn, go feed your cats. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. And next week, we'll come back with a proper B5 topic.
Be seeing you.
Bye.